to kick in. I'm going to make sure it's live on Facebook. Okay. All right. We are live. Okay.
Yay.
Hello, everybody. We are live here with Vanessa Kline and Michael Wilson. Sorry for the little bit of delay. As you can see, Vanessa has an incredible backdrop. She is in New Hampshire right now in the White Mountains, so she had a little tech issue getting logged on. Michael has a little bit of fake news behind him. It's a little bit of a virtual background, but that's all right. So thank you so much for joining us for episode number 6 of our RunVenture Zoom series for Sasquad trail running. So before we launch into our sit-down chat with Vanessa and Michael, I'm going to give you a little bit of background on Sasquad in case you're not familiar with who we are and what we do. So we put on trail parties around New Jersey. That's right, we call them trail parties. They're trail races all around the state of New Jersey. Fortunately, right now they're on a little bit of a pause because of the pandemic, but we still have a lot of really fun, exciting events going on. And I'm going to give you a rundown of what's happening in Squatchland right now. So tonight, obviously, we've got Vanessa and Michael. They're going to be chatting with us about their Vol State 500K run venture. After the recording is done, if you missed it, you can tune in on Facebook. It'll be up there. And we will also upload it to our brand new Sasquad Trail Runners podcast. We're so excited to share that with you. That is now live on whatever platform you're using to stream your podcast. And we have a lot of exciting guests that are lined up to come on over the next few months. So you don't want to miss that. Subscribe and you'll get the little push notification that we've got new episodes on there. So August 24th, Monday, is the cutoff for our Blue Mountain Ultra Squatch event that's happening right now. So between now and the 24th, you can get out to Stoke State Forest in Branchville, New Jersey, and you can sign up to run or hike 7 miles, 17 miles, or 34 miles. That's at Stoke State Forest, and you can register for that on ultrasignup.com. And then on August 24th, so excited to share that the 2020 Squatch Hunt will begin. So if you've been around Sasquad trail running the last year, you can remember back to last summer, we had our first Squatch Hunt. And it's basically this crazy combination of a scavenger hunt, flat Stanley, and trail running and hiking. So if that doesn't pique your interest, I don't know what will, but you can find out more information on that on our Facebook group, which is Sasquad Trail Runners on Facebook. And our last announcement is 2 weeks from now for our next RunVenture Zoom series episode. We've invited ultra runner and cyclist Rebecca Lewandowski to come on and chat with us. So Rebecca, if you've been around, you might remember that she won the highly coveted Saltiest Runner Award at our Squatchung Surprise Race in 2018. And I was just chatting with her on the phone the other day, and I told her that I can confidently say there has not been a runner since that race that has been as salty as she was. So she is forever known as the saltiest runner in our Sasquad community. But we're excited to talk all things trail running, mountain biking, and also to hear her insight on what's going on in our crazy world right now. She is on the front lines of the COVID-19 pandemic. She's a biologist for the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. So we're super excited to sit down and chat with her. That's in 2 weeks on August 26th. Okay, so that wraps it up for our squatchy announcements. Now to jump in and welcome our two guests for tonight, Vanessa Kline and Michael Wilson. Thank you guys both for coming. You guys,
thanks for having us.
Totally. I'm going to give you guys a short intro, and then we're just going to launch into this full steam ahead. So these two just completed the Vol State 500K. So if you need a little math conversion, that's about 314 miles that they completed traveling from Missouri to Kentucky. Now, if you're like me, that's kind of just even hard to wrap your mind around. So I told them I have a million questions that I want to ask, but I'll pace myself as we go along so we can leave some time at the end for question and answers for you guys in the Facebook chat. But I first met Vanessa, I think it was a couple years, and a couple years ago, and I was thinking we met. I'm pretty sure it was on the Lenape Trail. I think is when we first met. Yeah, we were both doing that fat ass event. Michael, were you there as well? I don't know if we.
I was there.
He was ahead of us, though.
Yeah, you were probably. I was in the back of the, the back of the train. So that's how I first met Vanessa, and we've stayed in touch over the last couple of years because she is not only an amazing runner, but she's also a race director. And so we're in that really cool community for New Jersey. She is the RD for the Batona Trail Series down in South Jersey, as well as the owner for Beast Pacing. And you can find all of her information on social media. We can link that in the video wrap up after this. And for Michael Wilson, obviously he's also an ultra runner as well. He works full time for Petco here in New Jersey, and he is also an endurance coach for local athletes. So if you're interested in learning more about his coaching services, Michael said before that you can reach out to him directly on social media and he can connect you with his website and all that. So I am going to read the intro paragraph to the Vol State 500K just to set the stage, and then we're going to launch into this. Okay, so this is from Ultra Sign Up. It is the first paragraph. It goes like this. The Vol State is not just another ultra marathon. It's more than that. The Vol State is a journey, an adventure, and an exploration of inner space. It begins with a ferry ride across the Mississippi River from Missouri to Kentucky and finishes at, quote, The Rock, high atop Sand Mountain in Northeast Georgia. What lies in between are 314 miles of the great unknown. From the time the Vol Staters step off the ferry until they reach the Rock, they are totally reliant on their own physical and mental resources. For the next 4 to 10 days, in the face of heat and humidity in July in Tennessee, the Vol Staters must make their way on foot along highways, back roads, from one small town to the next, over hills and across rivers, up mountains, down long valleys, all the while accounting for the most basic needs. What will I eat? When will I find water? And when will I sleep? So that just totally sets the stage for our evening ahead. You guys, first of all, thank you again for coming on. Tell us a little bit about who you are as runners, why the heck you wanted to sign up for this race. So fill us in.
Michael, you go.
Go ahead.
So why did we want to sign up for this race? Well, I don't know. I feel like for any race I sign up for, it's kind of like, just seeing how far we can push our limits, and sometimes like the worse it sounds, like the better I'm like, yeah, let me sign up for that. So, and it helps when you have crazy friends that like sign up and do things with you. Michael was actually signed up first. I ended up on the wait list, and I got in about a week before the race. So I was basically begging Laz to let me in. I said, please take my money. So I don't know if you needed more background than that, but I guess the crazier the idea or the more extreme or intense, I feel like it draws me personally to it. And just wondering if like I can actually like complete something like that.
Yeah.
Because even like some people say, oh well, now like maybe 100 miles will feel like a drop in the bucket, but it doesn't. Like it's all relative, and everything is hard. Like even running like for me like a 5K race, those are hard. I don't like that red line feeling, and but I guess just pushing your limits and seeing what you can do.
Yeah. Michael, what drew you to the 500K? What called to you about this race?
Was I guess more so the adventure part of the race. I really do enjoy just being out there, and honestly, going further and pushing myself further is definitely one of the reasons I get back out there and do it. But I really just like the way it sounded. They're talking about going through towns and mountains. I'm like, yeah, this sounds great. I mean, it's on road. It can't be like as hard as a trail. I was like, didn't read much about the race except for like I knew it was this big multi-day adventure, and I was like, I don't even want to read about it because I just want to have my own like trip. I just want to go out there and see what I can do. I really do like the camaraderie that I thought would happen, and it did. It did almost instantly once we got there. I feel like we had kind of met some people on the Facebook group, but nothing really gelled until we got there. And then it was like, okay, we're setting sail for this epic thing. And it wasn't until I think after that I realized like what it was about the race. And it was for all the reasons why I was there. So I just feel like for me, the whole adventure aspect is kind of what I'm about anyway. So it just seemed to be perfect.
Yeah.
And it worked out. So but I love that adventure part of the run. So
That's
awesome. It's not always about who can go faster. It's, we all have our own limits, but this definitely had some trying times that we'll talk about.
Yeah. I can't wait. I cannot wait to get into that. Before we do, I'm curious, did you guys, when you both found out that you were in, did you talk about like, we want to stay together, or you were just friends, you're both doing it and you're going to see what happened?
Well, so we did kind of discuss that, like, it would probably be maybe a little lonely if we were by ourselves. And we know, like, we go on a lot of adventure runs together anyways, and we always have a good time. So we kind of, I guess, like, we kind of decided just like actually like on the bus ride, we solidified like, okay, we're probably going to stick together, Now, if something were to happen, like where we were like going to miss the cutoff or like be behind, then we probably would have split up. But as long as both of us were moving forward and being able to make progress, getting eaten by bugs here, then we were going to probably stay together. And we certainly had, like, each of us had our high and low moments. But I think it really, like, it was good to have each other because it was fun to laugh at how dumb we were being. And I guess, I mean, we talked a lot about how we were never going to do it again.
Well, I just heard before this started and we went live that you both signed up for it again next year.
Yes. So we both actually signed up for HOTS, which is another race that Laz does. We both got into that one. Michael got into Vol State. I ended up on the wait list. It sounds like Laz is only going to let us have, he said, let us have one ice cream cone.
One ice cream cone.
I'm like, can we please have 2 ice cream cones?
You guys are like kids at the ice cream truck.
Yes.
The board cones.
Like, I'm sorry. Can we have 2?
Yeah. So, okay. So Michael just shared that he didn't really do a lot of research and plan, but Vanessa, did you plan for this, or
No.
is it like it was very last minute? You just, how far in advance did you find out?
1 week. One week.
Yes. What did that week look like?
It looked like a lot of scrambling for me with work and everything. I mean, I was like nonstop, like morning to night working, trying to get everything settled. Since I knew I was going to be gone at least I figured about 2 weeks, from like travel time and all that. So I was pretty much scrambling, like getting my kids' stuff ready, just preparing my family, like to be, John, like getting everything ready for John to like have the kids and then work stuff. So it was a lot of scrambling and ordering a lot of stuff on Amazon. Like, do I need this? Do I need that? And kind of like going back and forth with Michael too. Like, what did you pack? What'd you put in your bag?
Yeah. Everything was in my bag.
This bag was so big.
Well, that's definitely one of my top questions. If you can remember, I'm curious, what in the world did you put in your pack? How big was the pack? How heavy was the pack? What did that look like for both of you guys?
You go first.
Everything was in the pack. I want to say there were a lot of things that I just thought, well, what if this goes wrong? What if that goes wrong? And honestly, none of it really mattered. So I'm pretty much thinking the pack was a 24-liter fast pack by Nathan. It definitely was probably around anywhere from 12 to 17 pounds. Wow. It was pretty intense. By day 3, there was a pool noodle on the side of the road that I decided to MacGyver, and
no way.
Vanessa actually saw it first and was like, he's going to pick that up and do something with it. And I totally was behind her and I grabbed it. We got to our hotel room and I slit a hole, like a slice down the center so I could use them as arm pads around like the shoulders of my pack. And it took all the pressure off my shoulders. It felt great. So this fast pack was a lot faster once it wasn't like pulling my shoulders and bruising them. So, but I had like blister kits. I had like multiple flashlights. I had multiple chargers, like so much of like everything. And we started playing like, what was the game we played to start off, Vanessa?
Take it or leave it the night before.
Take it or leave it. It was a game of take it or leave it. I had to leave a lot of stuff, but the truth of the matter was I could have left probably like half the stuff I did bring. So
really, so it sounds like you overpacked then.
I did.
Oh.
I didn't know what was going to be out there, and I was kind of worried about it. Knowing what I know now, you can get everything out there. Like it wasn't like we were in the middle of the desert. So
Dollar General with your friend.
Yeah. So you know, I definitely pack a lot lighter. I think for us, some of the stuff came in handy, but we could stop and buy it for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. How about you, Vanessa? Did you have what kind of a pack were you carrying?
Yeah, I wore a Salomon S-Lab 8. So mine was a little bit smaller, but I packed that thing full. It looked like a turtle, like because it was like so far from my back. It was ridiculous looking, and I didn't have time to like get another pack. Otherwise, I probably would have went with the 12-liter Salomon.
Okay.
So, and the same thing, like I had an extra pair of shorts and an extra tank top and an extra sports bra. And I think by day 2 or 3, I threw that stuff out. Like I just left them in a hotel room. I remember the lady like coming after me with like my sports bra, like that was cleaning our room. We were leaving and we were getting ready to cross the street. She's like, do you need this? I'm like, no, I don't want it. Like, you know, just, we got rid of things. I mean, we kept most stuff, but for me, I had like too much clothing, and the part of it was like, well, what if I get wet or I need to change? Like, what am I gonna change into? And or if we showered at a hotel, and I just decided, I told Michael, I said, listen, I'm just gonna have to be wrapped up in a towel, and I will take my towel to the bed with me, to my bed with me, and get in there, and I just have to put the towel on when I get out of bed because I'm like, I can't carry all this stuff. That's how that.
That's hilarious. How about footwear? What kind of shoes do you guys wear?
I was wearing the new Clifton Edge. I had 6 miles on them before the race started, and I have before and after pictures. They melted on the cement.
No way.
We were worried that they weren't going to make it. They did make it. I did buy Dr. Scholl's gel-ins. I was thinking that I might have to tape those to the shoe to like hold it together at one point because I didn't know if they were going to make it, but they did, and I did not have to do any of that. But
did those inserts make any difference?
For me, they did. Actually, day 3, I think day 3 or 4, we got the inserts, and I went sockless from that point. So 3 days without socks. My feet. Honestly, I only have 1 blister the whole time. So I guess the shoes were good. They were a good fit. They were just very soft on the bottom. So they did melt quite a bit in the first couple of days.
How about you, Vanessa? What'd you wear?
So I don't run the road. So I only have a pair of like Cliftons that I normally wear on the road. And they're not my favorite. So I was like, well, I'm going to wear the Challengers, which is, it's more of a trail shoe, but it's kind of a hybrid. So I wore those, and the bottom of my shoes fared a little bit better than Michael's, but I think so. The Challenger has a little more rubber, and the shoe that he had on, the Clifton Edge, has a little more foam on the bottom.
Okay.
And we kind of figured that. So at a certain point, I kept telling him, dude, my toes are freaking baking in these shoes. They're on fire. I told him, I'm like losing my mind over this. We got off the side of the road, cut holes in my shoes, like slits to like hopefully relieve it. it helped a little bit, but not much. And we kind of figured that maybe the more rubber that I had on my shoe was conducting the heat better into the inside of my shoe.
Okay.
So that was difficult. And I fared a little, I fared less well than Michael did in the blister department. I had a few blisters here and there. One particularly in the ball of like my foot. I think that was from a lot of walking.
Okay.
But yeah, I think I'd go with even though his shoe seemed to like disintegrate worse, like on the bottom. I don't know if that would like, we kind of both have,
I mean, I was never uncomfortable. I do think like we both wear the Challenger for trails, and I was wearing them yesterday on more of a road setting. I definitely felt more heat in those shoes in the toe section. So
yeah.
My piggies weren't baking though, but yeah, they were definitely toasty.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you both might find out, have another chance to test some new shoes next year with 2021 Bowl State. So, okay, you just said that your shoes were melting. How hot was it when you were out there? Like, what were the highs? What were the lows for the temperature? What was the weather like?
I want to say that Jan she's a gal that has run the race. I can't remember what year, but she drives what they call the meat wagon. The meat wagon is like a van for people that are going to drop, and she comes and picks you up, and then she drives you backwards along the course, apparently past
so you
everybody.
can say goodbye to everybody.
Yes. We were like, we're not getting in that
We're
thing.
not getting in there.
So Jan had posted, I think, one day that the heat index was like 117 or something. Was that right, Michael? I can't,
Yep, that's it.
can't remember.
Yeah.
You know, it's a little bit blurry.
That is
But then the road.
Like the concrete, so if the heat index was like 117, the concrete was like around like 130, 140. I was looking up how that works, because I have checked that for my dogs in the past, and the concrete gets like 20 or 30 degrees hotter than your heat index, so the pavement gets really hot. Yeah,
we were seeing like wavy lines like ahead of us sometimes when we were running, like legit. And we saw a couple mirages actually. It was, like, surprising. I've never seen a mirage like outside of California, but
yeah. Let's get into the nitty gritty of the terrain. Tell us about what was it like for 314 miles. The race description sounds like it's scenic, and you're gonna go through different whatever. But was it just one road? I mean, Michael, you said before sometimes you were on a road for like 30 miles before you turned.
maybe even more. Even more. So,
that's very true.
Yeah, some of it was like big, like 4-lane highways, and those were actually kind of nice because the shoulder was wide. And then some of them were like backcountry farm roads with like this much room between the white line
and a rumble strip.
The dirt. Yeah. Like, no room at all. And usually that was always where I wanted to take a nap. I'd be like begging Michael, please let me take a nap. He's like, there's nowhere to take a nap, Vanessa. I don't care.
Yeah, you had a death wish.
So going into it, did you guys have kind of a plan of you wanted to be out on the road, cover a certain amount of miles, and then sleep? Or was it kind of you were just like winging it? Or what was the plan? And then did you think like you were going to set up lodging or just sleep on the side of the road? What was your strategy for the event?
We definitely had a plan. You want to talk about it, Michael? Or
well, it started, we wanted to get on a night schedule. That was the first thing, because we knew, like, after the first day, I think the first day we covered like 66, 67 miles, from the ferry through the night, and then before we got our first hotel, we did try to seek out hotel the first night. We were just nasty. It was hot as anything the first day, and we were actually running most of that, so we got a good portion done the first day. And I think we really just wanted to get on a night schedule, so that way we could be set up to move a little bit faster through the night, where we weren't dying of the humidity and heat. Yeah.
And once so what we want to do is like flip the schedule. Everybody has to run through the heat of the day the first day. Like you absolutely, I mean, you're going to run through heat no matter what at some point, like every day, but through the first day, you're going to run through the entire heat of the day. Like almost everyone does. There was a few people that stopped about 20 miles in to rest for a couple hours, but then they had to, continue on because you've got to do at least the 31 miles every single day. So once we went through the night on the first day, then we like tried to sleep during like the heat of the day. And then we took advantage of every second of darkness that we could. We were moving all the time at night. And certainly we ran like during the day as well, but we absolutely did not waste any dark hours sitting.
No. No.
Except when Ben saw us at 7-Eleven or something.
Not
like
I was gonna say, not unless we were at a gas station drinking a beer or putting our feet on ice.
Yeah, let's jump into nutrition and hydration. What in the world did that look like? Was there? I definitely want to hear like what was the most bizarre thing that you ate, because I'm sure something weird went down over those days.
So nutrition is a pretty loose word at Vol State.
Okay.
There's not really anything nutritious that you're eating. So the issue is that to get into like a grocery store, you got to go all the way across like a parking lot. Whereas you could get into a Dollar General or a convenience store much faster, much quicker, and nobody wants to be doing extra steps.
Right.
So I would say that we found that these little like tuna and cracker kits work really well for us.
Yeah.
Yep. They were awesome.
We had a lot of energy drinks. I had a lot of Gatorade. We had beer. The weirdest thing is probably I had like some gas station meatloaf, and it was like,
oh man,
the best thing I ate out there. It was so good too. I remember eating it, and I'm like, I can't even believe this is my life right now.
What? You said it was the best thing that you had?
Yes, it was so good at that time. Like, I'm sure now I'd probably be like,
wait, can we describe the setting? Can we describe the setting of this gas station meatloaf?
Yes.
We go in and they're about ready to close, and it's like sunset. We're in this town. It was like we were going from Shelbyville to War Trace, and we were told not to stop in Shelbyville because it was like this, I guess, somewhat ghetto-esque town that you really shouldn't want to hang out there. Okay. But we're there and we're on the sidewalk in front of this gas station, and we've got our meatloaf, and I had like a chicken thigh. I mean, we got like all this weird food there because we heard that the fried station was great. So they had this big window of all different fried foods, and we're sitting there, and like there's flies like attached to us, like we were like pigpen. We were like so gnarly from like going through the day.
Yeah.
And we were like, we don't even freaking care. People are walking up, like looking at us, and we're like eating meatloaf on the curb, like right in front of the door. There's flies all over us. We're like, we don't even care. Like my foot's bleeding. We had like our blisters out. Like it was a great meal. I have to say.
Man, you don't have a picture of that, do you? That sounds like something that should go on the Ultra Running Memes Instagram.
I don't know if I'm sure of that one exactly.
Wow. Okay, so meatloaf was the highlight.
Yeah, there was many moments like that, though. I mean, there were times like you kind of just are like, you're dirty. You are dirty, and things that you just stop caring about, and you realize it's not that big of a deal. Like we had so I have to take certain medicines for like low iron, and like an antacid for my stomach, and I take a vitamin D. That's just like a daily thing for me. And like, we just had the medicine, like out on the curb, like just sitting there, like taking one at a time. Like, I mean, I don't know. It's weird. You get really gross, and I don't know, things that normally you just wouldn't do, you do.
Did it get to the point where you smelled so bad you couldn't smell yourself? Like, did you cross that line?
I don't think we ever got that bad because we did stop, I would say like about every other day at least into a hotel. So it wasn't too bad, but I do have a really nasty ice bucket story.
Oh, are you going to share it? Because
sure, yeah, I'll share it. So, Michael, do you remember where we were headed into? I think it was the last time we stayed in a hotel. So it was before our last.
Manchester.
Yeah, Manchester. Okay. It was before our last hard push. We get into this hotel room. We in it. I think we got there at like 3. Michael.
I was mean to her the whole way till we got there.
That was the night we had a divorce.
This is after our breakup.
I want to hear about that as well. We're gonna chat
about that later.
Yeah, well, I just was really tired from not sleeping. Like, I was supposed to be sleeping during the day, the day before we did another hard push, and I just was like having a hard time shutting down, and I was kind of like tossing and turning. So I was like on Facebook, and John even like sent me a message. He's like, "Get off Facebook and go to sleep," and I'm like, I can't. I just was having a hard time like turning off. So when we were going into Manchester, I was just exhausted. I mean, I was like so exhausted, and I was cranky, I was bitchy, and I was like, you know, you won't let me sleep. And he's like, there's nowhere to sleep. This is another one of those places where the white line is like this. Anyhow, so we were like, let's just go at our own pace. Let's like separate a little bit and like have some like downtime. So Michael, he was ahead of me. He got into our hotel. When I got there, I filled up the ice bucket. Or no, I went to go fill up the ice bucket. Normally I took the trash bag out and just went to the ice machine and just filled the trash can with ice, and we would put our feet in it.
Right.
So this time I pulled the trash bag out, and there was throw up in the bottom of the trash can.
No.
I'm like, I'm like, I don't have time to wash this out. So let me put the bag back in, and I'll put the ice inside the bag. So I put the bag over, and I put the ice inside the bag. I brought it over to Michael. I said, here, you go first. Well, he put his feet in, and as he put his feet in, like, I think the bag must have fallen in. So like the throw up is mixed with the ice. And and I, you know, like I didn't tell him, hey, there's puke in there. I didn't even realize at the time what was going on. And then I put my feet in, and I iced my feet. And then the next morning, or after a couple hours of sleep, I was like, let me ice my feet again before we go. And then I like put my feet in, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like, it has throw up in it. It has puke in it. Like, you know what? I was like, my feet have already been in there. His feet have already been in there. And like, it is what it is.
Alive.
My goodness. That's one of the grossest trail stories I've ever heard. Oh my goodness. So, all right. Obviously you guys are still friends because you're on this call. You're friendly together. Yes. Talk about the, let's call it interpersonal relationships that the progression over the few days that you were out there. You just mentioned, I guess you guys had a divorce, but you got back together. So tell us about that. What happened?
Well, it was basically just, I was like overly tired and wanting to sleep. And he was like reminding me there's really nowhere safe to sleep. He's like, we have to keep moving. I mean, there wasn't. We were on a road that had some like wild dogs, like stray dogs that were aggressive. And there was no shoulder. He's like, you can't sleep. And I was just so exhausted. I was like, he's being so mean. Yep. He's like, I was being very dramatic. And he was like, whatever, you know, we've got to keep going. And then finally we got to this place where I kept saying, I need to sleep there. And he's like, do you want to go to sleep? I'm like, no, let's just keep going. Like, I was just overly tired is what it came down to. And I was having like a moment for sure.
Right.
So I think I'm more like verbal, like when I'm like in a bottom spot, I guess, like when I'm like tired or like in a low spot. And he's different. Like when he is in a spot where he's low, he just is quiet. So we're different in that aspect.
Yeah, the only time you'll ever catch me quiet. The only time.
It's true.
So what happened in that moment? You parted ways, it sounds like?
Well, yeah, we just like, we took a little space from each other, which worked out. And then, you know, after we, then we closed like the gap back up and we talked about it. And I'm like, I'm sorry, you know, I'm sorry for like being cranky and, you know, Like, he's like, I know. He's like, now I know what Swanson has to deal with.
Oh, oh, so did you guys hug,
yes.
you guys hugged it out and went back?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. There's
We
like,
hugged it out. We cried it out. We sweated out. It was, I mean,
So it wasn't a long.
To happen.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we were spending, we spent every moment of 7 days with each other. So, I think we both knew at some point that might happen. I mean, but like ultimately, like we know that like our friendship is really strong. And so, there was things that we were going to deal with and we're not perfect people. And both of us, we know that about each other and we just got to move forward.
Yeah. So. There is one thing that we still really have to talk about is that, the whole us passing the bar on the side of the road that night.
Oh my God, yes. I know, I'm so sorry.
We're on this highway and we'll probably never pass that bar again.
No.
We're on this highway because there was a reroute on the course. And we're like plodding along and it's like, I don't know, it was late at night and we saw this bar and there was cars there. So it was open and we're like, we'd been walking forever and we were tired and I was like, we should probably just go get a drink and have some fun.
We were chafed. We were really chafed. That was
awful.
That was the first night. So we were in bad shape.
We were like raw and we were unhappy and I was like, we should probably just do it. And then Vanessa in her very mom voice, very stern mom voice is like, no, we're not going. Let's keep going. We can't go to the bar. We'll get in trouble. And it was just like, wow. I'm like, all right, fine. We'll keep walking along. But then we open our Facebook the next morning, and two of the other people that were running in our that were with us, they were there drinking, having a good time. I was like, ah!
He's like, see, we should have stopped. I'm like, darn it. Yes, we should have. So then I promised any more bars we passed, we could stop. And of course, there was none. Like, I don't know.
What about your 500K, your 5 meter dash or whatever you did with that guy in town?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Wow. So it sounds like you're not going to live that story down, Vanessa.
No.
Michael's going to hold that over your head.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, next question. I am super curious to know, what were people's reactions when they saw you, when you were stopped at these, Dollar Generals or just walking along the side of the road? Did anyone ever pull over and say, like, are you okay? What was happening out there?
So the question was always like, are y'all doing that walking thing? We're like, yes, we're doing that walking thing. So a lot of people had heard, about Ball State and like, they kind of knew a little bit about what it was. But then there was people that had no idea. So if they knew, they would say, are y'all doing that walking thing? Because like here we are looking homeless, with like packs, we're nasty. We're like on a random road out in who knows where. So, and a lot of times too, people would just laugh and we'd be like, yeah, we know. We know how dumb we are. Or it was like, hey, are you doing it for a charity? Like, no,
right,
we paid money to do this. And they'd be like, you what? Like, yes, we paid money for this guy to send us out on this road and do this. So that was, they couldn't understand that. And that made, I get why they couldn't understand it. It's very strange.
Yeah, totally. I am going to pause here. I've got the Facebook chat open. I'm going to read one of the comments. This is from Maria Miller. And Maria says, Mike is the best. He knows how to handle female moments so well. LOL. Love you, weirdo. So
hi, Maria.
Gonna keep you posted on the chat. Let's talk about, it was obviously an emotional journey. What was the spectrum of emotions? Was it a steady, like, was it up and down constantly, or were you riding a high for a while then going low? What did that look like for you guys? Was it the same or different?
Oh wow.
I would say for the most part we were pretty like positive. Like,
yeah,
we both knew that we were going to make it to the end. We made that decision before we started, and we just said, if it means only the 31 miles every day, then that's what it means. We definitely wanted to finish like before that, but
Yep.
I would say we were pretty positive. We had a couple
I just
low
got-
moments.
Yeah, I just gotta say one thing. New Jersey's 10-0. Nobody from New Jersey has failed at Ball State.
All right.
It couldn't happen.
Dirty
Could
Jersey.
not happen.
Yes. And then of course, like we had a live video, our last live video we did going across this blue bridge, which that is kind of like signifies like the last part of the race. It's 13 miles to the finish line, and we both cried.
We
Like,
cried. All right, though. Like little babies. Yeah.
We were like, oh my gosh, like this is like all of our other videos were like goofy and
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
we like to have a good time, so we were pretty positive most of the way. There was like just not very many low moments, like
No.
really. The one that comes into mind is that going into Manchester, and there was like a time or two where we were just tired, but not low, like not really
Yeah.
like, oh, we never thought we couldn't do it. So I would say what you saw in the live videos was like pretty much the whole thing. We were just goofy.
I mean,
and dumb,
there
and
were some stretches
that's
of
how we
road that
got
were just boring, but yeah, most of the time, I feel like we kept ourselves pretty well entertained.
we had private concerts. Some of our fellow Volstaters like got to hear those. Our friend Joseph, he probably never wants to hear us sing again.
Yeah, him and Chris Clemens and Amy when we
Amy
were
Costa,
leaving.
yeah.
When we were leaving the fire station that night, we were rocking it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, I personally loved tuning in when you guys were posting the updates. That was cool because it kind of gave us an inside look of what in the world was
Right.
happening. If you could pick one moment, each of you, like a favorite moment, and it's not cliche to say if it was the finish, but can you nail down one moment that was like your favorite part of the entire experience?
Mine wouldn't be the finish.
No, mine not
wouldn't be the
either.
finish.
Okay.
Definitely not the finish.
But I don't know, like there was so many good moments. I don't know. What's yours, Michael? Do you have one?
You know what? Like you said, it's really hard to pinpoint a single moment. I think like there were so many mini micro moments when it was like we'd meet up with certain people, or they would just be like, we would like. It was really nice to know that we entertained a lot of people out there, and they were just
At our own expense.
like they were just living off of our energy, which was like really important for me because I feel like that's what I always want to leave out there. I want somebody to be like, that idiot, or like whatever, like he is a complete like mess. Do you see what he was doing? Like whatever. So I mean, I think I don't know. The Blue Bridge was like a total moment for us. I think that when Francesca came and visited us.
Yeah, that was a high moment.
Like that was really great when, you know, the first finisher and the fact that she was a female and she crushed it, just came back across the like course and visited everybody, sat with us because
that's awesome.
Yeah, she liked our videos and wanted to see our show and be personable with us. And I had just crawling out of a freezer in front of the Dollar General drinking a beer. So
I remember that picture.
You're picnic under a tree.
Everybody goes about the race a different way, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I also enjoyed whenever Jan drove by the meat wagon. We loved seeing her. We're like, we wonder if we're gonna see her today.
I know.
We missed her a lot, but like almost every single time that she saw us, we were
on our butt.
Convenience store, sitting on our butts, drinking a beer in front of a convenience store. I mean, I guess the theme of we did drink a lot of beer, but that's not the only thing we did.
Right.
But nearly every time she saw us, except the last time, we were like, oh my gosh, she's getting a video of us actually moving. This is amazing.
Right? That was so great.
It's so funny that it's called the meat truck.
Yeah, meat wagon.
Meat wagon, excuse me. So you guys just said it was super emotional crossing the finish line. Talk to us about that. What was going through your mind? Was it surreal? Were you relieved? What were the emotions you were feeling when you finished?
So I actually feel like it was more emotional crossing the Blue Bridge.
Yeah.
The finish line for me, it was more just about like, okay, we made it. Now, can we please sit down? You can't imagine how bad you want to take off your shoes. Like, the worst part is how bad the bottom of your feet hurt. You're like, oh, 31 miles a day. Like, or, you know, I mean, I think we averaged about 44 or 45. I can't remember exactly.
Yeah.
But that day after day takes a major toll on the bottom of your feet. It felt like someone took a hammer. So for me, it was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe we're actually here and we get to take our shoes off and we don't have to put them back on.
Or the pack.
Yes, the pack. Oh yeah.
I was so happy not to carry a pack.
Yeah. Yeah, so I feel like the emotional part actually came before the finish line, just because we knew like we were right there, you know, even though right there was.
Oh, that climb was awful. That climb was awful.
Yes, it was. There's a huge climb at the end. I ran out of water. We did the climb during the heat of the day, which Carl, who's the guy that was at the finish line, he says most people don't do that. They just decide to wait out. And we decided we just
weren't
need to be done.
Bright. No, we weren't bright. No.
No. I finally at the top found a guy like sitting in his garage. I'm like, can I please use your hose? And I just sat there like in his grass and just sprayed myself. And I'm sure he was like, you are so weird, but.
All right, I got a question. We're gonna, if you want to, go a little deep here in the question. So, did the race change you as a person? And if it did, what was that transformation? If you could put it into words.
You want to go first, Michael, or me?
You can go first.
So I wouldn't say that it necessarily changed me, but I realized that there's a lot that you can do without. Like there's gosh, like I would like to say I'm like I don't know, like I've always been, when I go to a hotel or I stay somewhere, I'm very particular about bringing my own shampoo and using that shampoo because it makes my hair feel nice. And I realized I can use hotel shampoo. I can use that hotel crappy bar of soap and I'm going to be just fine, you know?
I think they call that high maintenance.
Yes. I think it just makes you realize that like, there's a lot of things that you don't need that aren't important. I think you just appreciate like simple things, like air conditioning and like, just, I mean, I don't know. This kind of sounds like we talked about before, cliche, but I think it just makes you appreciate, you know, what you have and you just realize that there's a lot of stuff that you have that you don't need.
Yeah.
You can simplify things and maybe might make life a little easier because gosh, when you got to go back and do all your regular stuff, it's like, wow, I got to answer emails and it was fun not having any responsibilities and just thinking about moving every day, honestly.
How about you, Michael? What would you say?
I feel like it was a lot like how I kind of envisioned it, but also the whole part about not needing things was just monumental because, you know, really all you need to do is believe in yourself and just be out there and enjoy the moment, make the most of it. All the things we have don't really kind of mean anything, but I feel like for me, the whole adventure aspect, just, you know, day to day was great. It was kind of weird though. We did talk about, you know, how it was great, like we don't have to do our job and blah blah blah, but like, you know, day 4 into this race, you realize like moving is your freaking job because your feet hurt and my feet felt like hamburger meat, and just doing that repetitive motion moment after moment was a job at one point, and it was something that I'm just thankful to have the journey and enjoy it with a friend. I think it definitely can make or break a friendship. I think it definitely strengthened ours. We had our low moments and high moments, but you know, we were both very, very cordial to each other. making sure we both got through it and supported each other in those moments. So I think that was really cool. But, you know, I really just think that everybody needs to kind of leave their comfort zone sometimes, and this race definitely will have you do that. And you'll realize that things like trucks whizzing by on a highway can be something you can look forward to when you get the breeze. So like just little things like that. We were like, oh my God, a truck's coming. Yes, let's stand by the edge of the road and wait for its breeze to hit us because it was so dang hot. So,
Wow.
you know, just the little things.
That's awesome. All right, last question for me before we open it up to Q&A from the Facebook chat. What was it like? You kind of alluded to it before, but transitioning when that race ended, and then because that's an intense experience for 7 days. So what was it like going back to, you know, real normal life? How was that for each of you?
It's been hard.
Right? It's still hard.
Yeah, it is. It's just like, you know, you have responsibilities that you have to take care of, and you know, you've got to do those things. You know, again, for like those 7 days, all our responsibility was like, okay, we got to get to food, we got to get to shelter, and you just got to move, which sometimes was hard, but all of the other little things that like encompass and like take over your time, like work and social media, like we really weren't, I mean, we did like Facebook lives, but we didn't do too much like messing around on social media. I don't know, all of that like takes up so much of your time, you know. But also like just getting back to normal stuff, I think it's been hard. It's been really hard for me. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, I don't know.
Is your mind like drifting? I feel like, I don't know, it's really hard to keep my attention on anything, which is normal for me, but I feel like, all right, like this isn't as exciting as that was kind of thing. It's really nice not to really worry about things and just be out there and enjoy the moment of the day. Even if it is a weird flat farm road with the worst cambered roads that will destroy your feet. I think being out there is just, it's nice and freeing to be out just wandering around and not have anything but, you know, so that Dollar General is 20 miles away. What can we do to keep ourselves entertained until we find that Dollar General?
That is awesome, guys. Well, I know we could probably sit here all night and chat, but I do want to leave some time for folks in the group who are on the Facebook chat to ask some questions. And we've got a couple already. So let me scroll back up because I saw one from,
I got plenty of time. So John's out looking for his moose.
Right.
Oh, he went to look for the moose?
Yeah, he went to look for a moose while I'm on this call.
That's great. That's great.
Oh, by the way, we're in Maine. So we were in New Hampshire yesterday. We're in Maine, and you can't see now, but behind me is Moosehead Lake, which is pretty awesome. So.
Oh, I was thinking you were still in. Were you in New Hampshire today, or was that yesterday?
Yesterday, yeah.
Okay, you're making your way up the coast.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that in your post.
Yeah.
Moving.
That is awesome. All right, our first question comes from Kaylin Hopkins. Kaylin was a guest in our RunVenture Zoom Series a couple weeks ago. She chatted about her RunVenture doing the rim to rim to rim, the Grand Canyon. So Kaylin asks, well, she says, hi, you two. Questions. Would you approach the race differently next time? Oh, sorry, I stole your question. She said, did the race change you in any way? So we already covered that. But her question is, would you approach it differently next time that you do it?
So for me, not really. Like we had a great time, and I think you have to enjoy yourself. Otherwise, it won't be fun. And I mean, it was definitely hard, and we kept telling ourselves, never again, never again, never again. But like in hindsight, we look back on it, was like, that was a damn good adventure. So I don't think I'd approach it differently. I would just a different shoe choice, and a different like pack choice, and not taking as much at first. But otherwise, like, I think I would just have to plan on having a good time again.
Yeah.
Awesome. How about you, Michael? Sounds like you a lighter load for your pack. Right?
Yeah, definitely minimize the load. And yeah, I think I'd do it the same way. I don't think there's much I'd change. Maybe try to sleep outside a little more often, but there was like one or two spots I felt like were good. There's so many like variables that come up because, you know, on the trail you can pass out and you don't really have to worry about cars zooming by or people pulling into their driveway and stuff like that. So it's a little trickier when you're out there. So.
Yeah, we saw people like sleeping like in driveways, like
wow.
Which
like
I mean, they were like usually off to the side, and it was typically like on a like road where there was like big like farm properties with like some nice entrance, like with a gate.
Yeah.
But I think especially us being like new at it, we were like we knew we wanted to make sure we got good sleep when we could get sleep.
Right.
That was going to be important to us. So, but I think I'd probably try sleeping outside a little more too.
Awesome. Okay, next question is from Herman Gray. And the question is, why are you guys going back? I recall
Hi, Gilbert.
Going back.
So he ran the race with us, and I don't recall which day we ran into him.
That was
you're trying to sleep on some cots.
Yeah. That was probably like
why are we going back? He's probably asking us that because we asked him at those cots, we're like, have you done it before? He said, yes. We're like, why would you do it again? He's like, stupidity. So guess what? The answer is stupidity.
Stupidity, yeah. Definitely.
Well, there you have it. Okay, Kaylin asked another question. She says, Vanessa, what do your kids think of your adventure? You are setting such a high bar.
Oh, wow.
So they do think it's pretty like amazing, but also they remind me we're not like you, Mom, because sometimes I try to like say like, hey, let's go do this, or you know, they're not as outdoorsy as I am, I guess I would say. So I'm not sure. I think they realize like that is an incredibly long way, and it's like, you know, they understand how far 100 miles is, and that it's like much more than that. But I haven't like asked them too much about like what they think, you know. I know they're proud of me, but I don't know what their deep thoughts are on it. So I just hope that I'm setting, you know, I know the bar is high, but I just want them to understand that like, if they want to do hard things, they can, you know,
right.
Because it certainly is not easy, but I just hope that there are people that work really hard, which I feel like I am. I'm a workhorse, and I want them to be the same way.
Awesome. Okay. This is a statement I think worth reading from Darren. You have to change your underwear, period. That's hard now. So I think that was in response to how you were transitioning after the
Wow.
I'm so confused. What? Darren, tell them to stop writing weird stuff.
I'm pleading the fifth.
I think that's a joke because, I mean, why do we need underwear if we got short liners in our shorts?
That's a question.
There you go.
All right. No more questions from Darren.
All right. He's
none from Swanson either. I could see he's here, and I could see.
All right.
Okay, we've got another question. This is from Chris Roach. I'm assuming that's how you pronounce his name. He says, I have entered the race for 2021. Never ran an ultra before. I have always heard from this race that feet are the main issue. What kind of socks do you recommend? And do you recommend compression socks or sleeves?
Oh, okay. I probably wouldn't wear either compression socks or sleeves just because you can swell a lot. We actually didn't have too much like swelling issues, and Jan actually confirmed that whenever she drove by us, she's like, oh my gosh, you guys are the only ones that don't have cankles. And we don't know why that was the case. I wore Balega ultralight socks. And I don't know. I feel like socks are kind of like shoes. Like they're specific to you. Like I can't tell someone like what the best shoe is. And I feel the same way about a sock. So I think what I would say is, since you're entered already into the race, a heck of a lot of road miles, because the road is so much harder on the bottom of your feet than the trail, and whatever you think you're going to wear, like wear it, don't wash it, then wear it again, don't wash it, wear it again, maybe like see how it lasts, because you're not going to wash it. Like you will rinse it out maybe, or like you'll get a rainstorm and it'll get washed that way, I guess. But you don't wash things, or at least we didn't. Like, no, like we rinse things out. But I would say whatever you're doing, like practice it before the race. Same thing with the pack. Put everything in there, load it up. And like Michael said, most things you can get out there. If you think that you're not going to get tailwind or some special gels, you're not going to get your gel that you normally would out there. Anything like that you can't be that
Train on real food.
And like crap food, like gas station, chips, like
meatloaf.
I ate a turkey and cheese sandwich that was like in one of those refrigerator, like, the
2-month expiration. Woohoo! That sandwich was good.
We ate cheeseburgers from like fast food places, like
hours later. Days later.
That could have been a mistake. My stomach was a little funky after that, but
oh man. Okay, let's see. Philip Bondra wants to know, what was the best stuff you got from a road angel?
Oh, Phil ran the race too, and I think he was in the front.
He was first uncrewed.
Okay, wait, hold on. I have to know, was Phil the one that was sitting in front of us in the bus when our beers rolled forward?
I don't know.
Can you post that question to him? Because I saw his podcast, and I think he is from the guy that was sitting in front of us in the bus. But I'm curious. Anyways, best thing we got from Road Angel Station, mine was the chicken salad sandwich from the Nut House. Oh my gosh.
That was
famous Road Angel Station, which is like a house that's along the course. So I think everybody should know that like there's no aid stations. There are a few Road Angel stops if the people are awake. I think those people are mostly like they take shifts or something. But there's
like coolers,
Sometimes
there's like coolers on the side of the road. Especially at night, like we traveled at night, so we didn't see them.
We didn't see some stuff. Yeah, somebody was like, "Oh, you just passed one." I'm like, "Are you kidding me? We missed something." So my favorite was the chicken salad sandwich from Mrs. Nutt herself, because oh my gosh, it was delicious.
So good. Yeah, I've never seen on that.
What was yours, Michael? Was that your favorite thing? Or
that hit the spot.
Awesome. Well, Philip replied and said that yes, that was him.
That was him. Okay, not so. Yes.
And he also just commented and said, yes, that was the same for me. The chicken salad sandwich was the best.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. John Swanson, we know him.
Oh God.
He's tuning in late. He's tuning in late, so you already answered this question, but he wanted to know what your favorite food stop along the way was. So I think it was the meatloaf, right? You said the meatloaf. Game changer.
Yeah, well, now that I think about it, it's like the meatloaf or the chicken salad sandwich was so good. But like outside of like someone personally making something, the meatloaf was good. But my favorite by far was the chicken salad sandwich. Maybe I've changed my answer, I guess.
Awesome. Well, we're gonna wrap it up. I've got one more question for me. I want to know, what is next for you guys? Do you have your eye on an event? I know there's not a lot of races going on currently, but do you have maybe another trip that you want that's on your bucket list? I mean, Vanessa, looks like you're executing some major bucket list items right now, but what's up for both of you guys?
So for me right now, I'm just adventuring in New Hampshire and Maine like this week. My kids are like with their father for a couple weeks, and so I may attempt a run adventure from the top of Jersey to the bottom in a couple weeks. Maybe like more towards the end of the month. And maybe my partner in crime will join me if he has time off. I don't know. Or maybe my real partner in crime might join me. Michael, I guess, is my number 2 partner in crime.
Awesome.
So.
Well, maybe we can all do it. So.
Yeah. I don't know, like I don't have any solid dates or anything, but John previously like mapped out something from High Point to Cape May, and it's just under 200 miles. So I'm really considering that. I did order some shoes from our local running store, Haddonfield Running Company, and they're in. And they're I decided to try the Rincon too.
Okay. Yeah, they're good.
Michael
I like them.
We were discussing those, so I'm gonna maybe wear those next week when I'm home and see how they work out. I mean, the thing is, like, when you go on something like that, whatever you take with you, that's what you got, you know. So you just got to deal with it. I mean, I guess so. During Ball State, nobody can bring you anything. Like, you can't have people bring you stuff. You can't have people drop things off. You can't have friends meet you out there. Now, of course, that would be different for my little adventure, like down New Jersey. But I wouldn't want to take time out of someone's day just to like, hey, I decided on the wrong pair of shoes. Can you bring me a new pair? Like, probably whatever I would take is just what I'm going to take.
Awesome. That sounds like that'd be an incredible experience. Would that be primarily, I'm assuming, mostly road, or would you try to hop on some trails?
Yeah, I'd probably just go road. Yeah.
Okay.
I really enjoyed the like going from town to town during Ball State, even though I'm primarily a trail runner.
That's my favorite part. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun to go into those little towns. That was like whenever we could like see lights and we were getting close to numbers, we're like, we're almost there. Like, let's see what's gonna be like, you know?
Yeah.
It was like a birthday party we were going to every day.
Yes, it was our party. All alone in the middle of the night until the cops came.
Oh yeah.
Great. How about you, Michael? What are you thinking? Any ideas rolling around for something?
I mean, I could jump in on some New Jersey adventure. I could also do whatever. I mean, honestly, I don't really have anything planned until next year, so I feel like this is my must do for the year, and I'm just thankful it happened and we could partake in it. You know, heard plenty of stories from a bunch of people for a long time, and was like, it's on road. It's not my thing, but I do love the town aspect of it. And just like kind of like hopping from place to place and like seeing what's going on. I don't know, maybe just being like a nosy buddy and whatever, but it was just fun, you know?
Yeah. So. I feel like we were pretty lucky that like there's not a lot of races going on, and just like for us to be able to do this during like this whole time, there was only 66 of us, I think, that started. So I agree. I felt like pretty lucky that we got to at least have this one major adventure, like or major race, even though I don't feel like it's more of an adventure. Even I know it's a race for like a lot of people, but we're not those people that are going to be racing for those top spots. So
wow, adventure. Man, this was incredible. My goodness, I was really looking forward to this, sitting down and chatting with you guys. Thank you so much for being gracious with your time. And I feel like we were at the trailhead just sitting around and chatting, even though this is through Zoom. So before we leave, I want to give both of you guys opportunity. Vanessa, if you want to plug for the Batona, and Michael, if you want to plug a little bit for your coaching services, if you guys want to do that.
Okay, so as Kim stated, I'm the race director of the Batona Trail Races and the New Jersey Devil 100, which are set to take place October 10th. And as of now, we are moving forward full steam. We do have our race set up on a wait list type entry. So what that means is people can register, but they're not going to be charged right away. They're going to get some information on how we're proceeding. And then as long as they agree to everything and they are on board, then they can receive an invite to register fully into the race. On August 15th, though, we are going to cut that time off, and we will go to a regular full wait list because we have got to order swag for this puppy now. Yeah. So that's it. Oh, and you can find us on Ultra Sign Up, or you can link, I guess Kim might put some links in the podcast, or just find me on Facebook. So if I don't accept a friend request, like send me a message because I'm not super good about doing that.
Awesome. Very cool. How about you, Michael?
If you want to reach out and you want a customized plan for actually a swim, bike, or run, I do all those. But you can reach me on Facebook or Instagram. It's Michael Daniel Wilson at MDW Endurance Coaching. So you can reach me there. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I just want people to have a good time while they're out there, not get injured, and try to do their personal best. It doesn't matter outside that, right? So, you know, if you're looking for any of that support, I'm your guy.
Awesome. Yeah, we're all about supporting the local trail and ultra community. So we're happy to support you guys. I'm hoping to get down, if the race does happen, get down to Batona and volunteer. So hopefully we were set to do it in the spring. So hopefully we'll get down there to South Jersey. So again, thank you guys so much. This was a blast. I hope all of you who are watching this live enjoyed it as much as I did. If you're catching this on the podcast rerun, I hope you really enjoyed it. All right. Thank you guys so much.
And thank you so much. It was awesome.
All right. Keep it squatchy.